only could I see the mountain range, but I could feel the cold air on my skin, which I can still feel as I write this. A constant reminder that William McKinley was the 25th President of the United States. Just to the left of that window was a small bar with a large teddy bear standing there, sipping a drink. Teddy Roosevelt, of course. A large raft floating on a globe represented our 27th President, William Howard Taft, and a bright yellow tennis ball with the name Wilson on it, for Woodrow Wilson, smashing through a grandfather clock in the back corner of the room. It took just a few minutes for me to encode the 10 presidents into images and place them around the memory palace. At the time, I thought there was no way these images would stick in my brain, but it has been a year since my tour of the memory palace, and I am now confident I will always remember them. Even Nelson would agree I was exhibiting a fantastic memory, and it only took several minutes of him training me to get there. As you dive into this fun and zany book of memory techniques, keep in mind the early lesson that we too often forget. Pay attention, fully and thoroughly. You will not only remember better, but you will also experience and enjoy life more. This book will make remarkable memory an ordinary part of your life, and you will not find a more engaging teacher than Nelson Dellis. I have been using the techniques in this book every day, and if you do the same, you will never again forget to remember it. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Staff Neurosurgeon, Emory Clinic, Chief Medical Correspondent, CNN. Chapter 1. My Story and Why You Should Listen to Me. Whenever I try to remember, I forget. Winnie the Pooh. Remember the last time you walked out of a meeting, correctly recalling everyone's name as you shake their hands goodbye. Remember the last time you went online to check that bank account you hardly ever use anymore, and you nailed the password. Uppercases, numerals and all, on the first try. Remember the last time someone asked you, "What are you doing next Tuesday?" and you recited your entire schedule and to-do list for that day off the top of your head. If you don't remember, it's probably because you didn't remember. And if you didn't remember, it's probably because you're one of the billions of humans on this planet with an imperfect memory. Most of us have grown accustomed to the frustration of memory lapses, and the little things we do to get by in spite of them. Calling everyone dude, using the same simple password on every website, snapping pics on your phone of parking garage signage and empty containers of food that you need to restock. It seems that even when we want certain things to stick, they just slip away. Sometimes they stay in our brains for a little while, then disappear when we go a stretch without using them. Like most people, I managed to do well in school only when I studied extra hard, poring over French vocabulary words for hours, doing physics proofs over and over. But as soon as I put that knowledge to use on a test, I'd forget it, as quickly as I'd crammed it into my brain. Memorization was tedious and boring, with no precise principles to speak of, and certainly no reward in itself. Only the hope that the material would adhere to my brain for the rest of the semester. But then there are some things you never forget, like one startling, gut-wrenching moment that changed everything. I was in France, visiting my grandparents. My grandmother had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's a few years earlier. The last time I'd seen her, she'd had trouble remembering where she'd left her cane, or whether she'd set her tarts in the fridge or on the counter. This time, as she sat across from me at the table, she turned to my grandfather and asked him how I was doing, and whether I was planning to visit any time soon, completely unaware that I was right there with her. I was stunned by the depth of her lapse. It's hard to forget being forgotten by someone you love. I started thinking about what was going on inside her mind and inside mine. When I returned to Chicago, where I had recently moved, I couldn't find a job right away, so I looked for something else to occupy my time.